Hi, my name is Annamieka, and this is the Art Friends Show, where every conversation focuses on getting to know the essence of creativity itself. I'd love to invite you as well to join me inside of Art Friends School, where we go deeper into these topics and join in with other art friends around the world. Thanks so much for joining us, and let's get to the show. Welcome to the Art Friends Show. Here's an artist you're gonna love to know. Hi, I'm Annamieka. Oh great, Mariana, I can see you. Yay! So this is the Art Friends Show, and we're doing 100 days in a row going live. Most days I'm interviewing another artist, and today's guest is Mariana. She's joining us right now. Hi, Mariana. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Your dog is adorable, by the way.
This is Summer Dog. She actually won't get off my lap, so I'm going to let her. But I wanted to bring her for this special episode since you have such a specialty. So welcome to the Art Friends Show.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here, chat it out about art. And thank you so much for this platform, too. I really appreciate that.
We're creating it together. Can you tell everyone your full name, where you live, and then we'll talk about what you make?
Yeah. So my name is Mariana Moreno-Gonzalez, and I live in Berkeley, California. And I am a portrait artist specializing in pet portraits, and specifically working with acrylics right now.
Cool. One thing that I notice about your work, Mariana, is how much, yes, you can capture a likeness, and they are beautifully rendered, but in addition to a likeness, you're capturing like the energy that exudes from the pet or the person, the personality, but also like the presence. It's so cool.
Thank you so much. That's definitely a goal of mine with the work. So when I get that feedback, it makes me feel really happy. Because it's nice to have, I'm happy with the pieces and how they come out. But the real part of what I do is a service to honor this special relationship. And so when they get the piece and they're like, this feels like my pet, this feels like my person, that makes me really happy, because that's definitely my goal with the work, more than anything.
How do you do that part? Do you know? Can you put that in words?
So, we can talk. I guess we can backtrack a little bit about my history of how I kind of got started with this, because it ties in with that. So in 2021, in January, I had a German Shepherd Husky mix. His name was Lobo. Yeah, that's his portrait right there. And his presence in my life taught me a lot about myself. He was an anxious, reactive dog, and so I had to learn a lot about like what were his triggers, I just paid a lot of attention to him and his personality and the surroundings and stuff like that. And I almost want to say that like might have increased my intuition or something. Yeah. He passed away, he was about 8.5. So he was like really healthy until he wasn't. Yeah, it was kind of scary. It was hard. And I shout out to Berkeley Humane Society, because they had a pet loss support group, and there they suggested like putting an altar or something to honor, because it's a very sudden shock from like having to take care of something and not being able to do that anymore. And that was where I was like, I'm gonna take it a step further and paint him, because there was, I could do like take a bunch of photos, and I love the photo, but it was the act of painting him. It was like remembering all the little fur marks, any little scars, anything that like felt like him again. So with like each stroke, it felt like I was petting him again. I was having those moments with him again. And I think that practice, the first piece, because I hadn't painted since 2010 before doing that. So I took my time. That process also helped repair my relationship with art, because there was a bit of like an exhaustion. I went to art school, but for fashion design, and it was really therapeutic, not just like for my grieving, but also rebuilding my relationship with art. So yeah, it painting him and remembering, and it was just like really focusing on the memories, feeling the energy of the photos. Um, that's that's what I've continued to do with the newer pieces. So what's been fun about this experience, whether the pet or the loved one is present or, you know, has passed on, um, I when they send me the photos, the reference photos, I like to have a couple. I ask them, send me your favorite ones. Like if you can send me like 5, that gives me a good vibe of like the energy or the kind of relationship. But if they have one, that's totally fine. But it's fun to see their favorite photos, their perspective of the relationship, and also there's that trust, because my dog didn't trust a lot of people, but he trusted me. So when I took photos of him, he was less guarded, he was more sweet. You know, I caught these really beautiful moments of his tenderness that not everyone gets to see. And so when I see people with that loving relationship with their pet and they're taking the photo and the pet's relaxed and you can see they're happy, it's like that moment of like the real connection, the real relationship there, the like unconditional love that becomes present in those photos that I try to capture in the painting, like kind of magnify them if I can. Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, reference photos seem like a really important part to guide your client on, so you can see. And I love how much you recognize that they're actually able to capture the most open energy in their pet, perhaps.
Yeah. And it's also like some of the photos I've seen, you can literally see the owner reflected in the eyes. Like there's this Sphinx cat and like the big Sphinx cat eyes, and you could see the person taking the photo. And I love those photos because it's like you're really capturing that like connection, right, between, you know, the pet and the owner, and that like sweet intimate moment of like safety and happiness. And yeah, it's really nice.
So cool. Do you ever paint that little portrait of the owner, like on the
eyeball? Of the person. I do, yeah. So some of them I've been doing mostly like 8x8s, 10x10s. I just started doing 12x12s. Yeah. And so I have a nice little collection of teeny tiny brushes, and then I'm like, I'm still getting that person in there because I'm very detail orientated. So it takes time and it takes energy and focus, but I love doing that. I love capturing every little bit that I can, and then kind of flowing out with the background and playing with color and adding flowers and textures that way. But for sure, I'd say I put a lot of detail in the eyes and like the nose, the balance, so that you can really feel like, hey, that's my baby. You know what I mean? Like I'm capturing that. Like I know that dog. It's not just that dog. That's my dog.
Yeah. Oh my God. I want to have you paint my pet. So much. That'd be amazing.
I mean, I love doing it, and everyone that supported me along the way, I greatly appreciate, because this has definitely been like a passion project. It's been more like heart-centered art making, and so I really enjoy it all the time.
Where is it leading you? What are a couple things you have coming up right now?
That's a good question. So I feel like I'm still open to seeing where things can go. As far as where I feel called to, I've been working with, I've been offering gift certificates for silent auctions, for animal rescues. So if they have silent auctions, my portrait can be a prize, and that's really sweet because that money goes back to like taking care of the animals. And then also just it's a really nice gift too. So it's like around the holiday season, people have been asking like, can you requesting for commission portraits and stuff like that. I can't quite see too far into the future of where I can fully, because like I feel like with each piece, it's such a intimate portrait, you know, that I wouldn't want to make prints or anything like that. So aside from doing the pet portraits, I'm also doing pieces of my personal collection, and those I kind of consider like visual diaries. And there I play with more with people portraits, like faces and stuff, but also like nature elements, and it's almost like surrealist. I'll put different size things, and for that I want to continue to explore as well, to make prints and do shows and stuff like that.
Cool. That's, yeah, it sounds like it's really taking you like into a broader art practice, and you're staying in a lot of alignment with the commitment to the animals by giving those gift certificates. Have you done some of those gift certificates as work yet?
What do you mean as work?
People who have won the gift certificate in the silent auction, have they come to you and redeemed it?
Yes. Yeah. I'm almost caught up with the last year's pieces, but yeah. So I want to say maybe the last 3, no, except for the latest one, but a couple of the portraits on my Instagram page are from, there's like 2 cats and some peonies in the back. That one's from the Berkeley Humane Society silent auction. So yeah.
That's really cool. So I'm curious about your experience studying fashion design in art school. And does that, like, tell me about that choice that you made back then, and maybe how it relates or not.
So when I was in high school, I did take some AP art classes, and one of the classes that was my first time actually painting portraits. So I'll tilt the camera, but like you can kind of see in the back there. Oh, yeah. I actually did that in high school.
Cool.
And that's a portrait of my grandmother. Yeah. So that was the first time I did really played with acrylics and face and all that stuff. And I remember enjoying it, but I don't know. I think part of when I was younger, I was like, I want to be like Selena and be a fashion designer or something like that. So I went to California College of the Arts in San Francisco for fashion design. And what was nice about that school is being exposed to other mediums, different design and traditional art too. Like they had glass blowing and painting, all that stuff. And I do remember, like, I think it was my freshman year in a drawing class. My drawing teacher tried to convince me to switch majors, and he was like, you should do drawing or painting. And I was like, I'm going to do fashion. And then when I graduated, I actually really didn't get into fashion design. I liked more conceptual design. I like problem solving, custom making, handmade stuff.
Yeah.
And in the industry, I feel like at that time was more mass produced commercial stuff, and that wasn't my vibe. So I actually got my dog, Lobo, kind of recently after graduating, and then got into retail because it really worked with my schedule to take care of him and get money to take care of him.
Yeah.
And so I went more into styling and customer service, and did other things. I actually worked a little bit for like a local dog collar company, and so I did hand studded leather dog collars and helped sell those too. So yeah, I haven't really gone back into fashion besides playing with altering things here and there, and at times I entertain the idea of maybe doing a little small collection at some point in my life.
Yeah.
But I think as of now, where I'm at in my life and the experiences that I've had in my life, I feel more of like being in service to a community, and I found that sweet spot with, like, giving people, because I feel like, at least with the pet loss support group, like, not everyone has the nice supportive environment to be able to grieve something that feels very real, very personal, very delicate. And so I almost feel like, well, at least I'm offering the safe space for people to come to me if they want a portrait or anything like that. And because I understand that connection. I understand, how painful it is to lose them, because when you love that big, it hurts that much. So I just really enjoy this way of using my skill or my art to be able to celebrate something really beautiful and precious that should be like taken care of.
Yeah. It sounds like you're just so in alignment with your purpose.
Thank you.
And it's really striking me that Lobo was perhaps, oh, hey, my dog's looking for me.
Oh, cute.
There's a gaggle of children passing by, and she's, someone's out there.
Oh.
Someone's out there. But, hi, thank you. Lobo, so studying art in art school in San Francisco, and then immediately after that getting Lobo and having that chapter of your life together, and it's like his passing returned you to art.
Mm-hmm.
It's just an interesting story. Art.
It is. Yeah, it really is. I wouldn't have thought that would have been a thing, but yeah, I think also the timing too with the pandemic, right? And so I actually got into like cleaning up my space and pulling things out, and so even at the time of his passing, I actually finally had an art desk with my art stuff organized. Like I was ready to go.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I have, and I had the time, or it was the time. I feel it was the time to get back into it.
Yeah.
And I think the connection that I had with him and the dedication that I had to help him and also my own anxiety, because I have I'm an anxious person too, but but it's like it helped me to have patience, and to figure out how to deal with difficult times with more compassion. And so I made rules for myself, and I do that still. I still practice that. So every time before I paint, I meditate a little bit. It's like little prayers that I give to myself to remind myself, like, don't come at this with any self-criticism. Honor your energy and time, and trust yourself, like believe in yourself, because I can easily get into the self-sabotaging way of just being like, I'm not technically trained in this, or I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm like, I know what I'm seeing, I know what I want. Like when I trust and align like what I'm seeing, what I'm feeling, and what I want to put out, and that flow is how these paintings form. So I gotta trust that more than thinking logically of like, does the lighting correct or whatever. It's like, you know what you're doing, just go. Just flow.
That's beautiful. I love that you just have such a sense of what you need to do and how to do it, and you're painting confident too in that. You're a whole vibe. It's really fun to meet. Right? So
thank you so much.
Show is like meeting people like you that, we might both be so in our own worlds, we just only wink at each other across the internet for years, and here we get to just soak you up. So nice to meet you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's been a pleasure to talk with you. And again, like I said, this platform is awesome, because that's been something that I've also been learning. So with the personal pieces, even with Lobo's pieces, I don't sell him, but I've been blessed enough to have spaces to show him. And so that was a great opportunity to get back out there and talk to people. And it's definitely helpful to talk with another artist that's like has more experience and established in community, and say these wonderful things, because it helps a lot to combat the self-sabotaging limited beliefs when you have the support of a community.
So much, and we all need it. I mean, my close friend Leah told me that she's now listening to these live art friend interviews while she's painting, because a lot of what we do, it's like we're friends, but then she's hanging out with virtually, and I think we end up working in isolation a lot. But there's so many common experiences in what it is when we have this urge. I think what defines our community is we have this urge to create. We're going to do it no matter what. Some of us, it can be a big part of our identity. I know it is for me. And so, like, it's not always like super easy. Sometimes it's really like pockmarked with doubt or whatever. So it's nice to have the conversations out in the open.
Yeah. And it's also that you're recording it and putting on this platform, because it's the great thing about this modern technology is that you might say something that's going to click and maybe activate another artist, right? And so that's like, we need more of that. We need more people to believe in themselves, put themselves out there, be vulnerable, because the more of us that are vulnerable, I feel like the more empathy, the more compassion is needed.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of at a point in my career after been teaching online since 2017, and a lot of that has been behind a paywall of like inside a certain course or as a private mentor, or and it's felt like a lot of work to then try to translate it into like the public content. And now I want to do it almost in reverse. Like I just want to give everything away for free if I can. And then starting the Art Friends School, which will be my place where people can have a membership or just join for a month or two, and we'll have, you know, intimate master classes and stuff. So that's how I plan to make my income. But instead of being like, I'm only gonna have these conversations for people who can access or afford to like hire, I'm just feeling really liberated by just doing it all out in the open right now. So
that's great. Yeah, I'm glad you're honoring that as well. Yeah, it's interesting. Some of my younger relatives have come out and I'm learning these things about them, that they also feel called to do art and stuff like that. But they also have that like, oh, but I'm not good like you, or you know, this and that. And like, no. We're not gonna start with that conversation. You have to honor, everyone has their own, you know, view of life, and we might have similar looking techniques or whatever, but that people develop with time, you know, technique and all of that stuff you develop with a lot of practice, but everyone's unique viewpoint or fingerprint in the art world, I say is valid and needed.
Sure.
So yeah, I think that you're doing right by giving out first, because that will just open up, you know, more people to come to know that you really care and you want to help.
Yeah, and I'm just down for the conversation, you know, because it's a win-win. Yeah. One other thing is, I don't know if you ever are interested in sharing a studio, but a bunch of my pals in Berkeley have this amazing studio, and I think they have like 8 members, and sometimes the spaces turn over. So definitely look up Lily Soul. She's been on as an art friend. Mady Rose been on as an art friend. Andrea here. A couple other people that we know. I don't know if you need a studio or want it in the capacity of community, but it might be something to, you know, keep an eye on and get
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, when I get into my zone, I can be really private, or I like a little bit of privacy. I think honestly, like if they did workshops where it's like, it gives us space to play, like figure drawing and stuff like that. That's something I feel like I would want to do, just to switch things up in the brain and all that stuff. And I appreciate that. I actually like that idea too. I want to get more comfortable of maybe making art out there in the world.
Well, maybe it's not really meant to be. I don't know. But I really enjoy connecting people. That was like pinging me, and so I trusted it to say it out loud. But yeah, I think I had a shared studio space for 9 years. I think Alicia is watching this live right now. Hey, honey. We were student mates, and often I had to actually have headphones on to like kind of get in the zone.
Yeah.
All those really fun times where we're like, let's just have a little dance break, or we have like a really deep talk that nourishes both of our practices, or there's a lot of things, or just even seeing other artists like work, really nice. But there can be annoying times, probably when I'm on Zoom calls talking really loudly. Sharing space is not ideal. So thoughts for you?
No, yeah, now that I think about it, that was something I enjoyed about art college, was like seeing the different, like seeing industrial design pieces and seeing like graphic design pieces. So, and then in general, especially when it comes to my personal art, I do like to get inspired by like other things. So it is a good idea to kind of step out of my comfort zone or what I'm used to always seeing, just to like visually get my eyes to like see something else, but also inspiration too.
Yeah. Well, so fun. I'm so glad to meet you and be part of the community together, and let people who watch this now or in the future get to know you. And so for anyone watching this, please comment and encourage Mariana at portrait commissions, because she's absolutely phenomenal at them. And if anyone wants to get me a birthday present, I want a painting of my dog.
That'd be an honor.
Anything else you want to say? No, anything else you want to say before we sign off?
Just thank you. Thank you to you. Thank you to everyone who's watching. Thank you to the community. And this is something that I do want to keep doing. And so whenever, I usually say to people, whenever you're ready, I'm here for you.
Amazing.
So yeah.
Amazing. I love your energy, your awareness. Yeah, what a fun.
Thank you so much.
I'm going to end this, and then I'm going to type a caption in the next 5 minutes, and we'll be all done.
All right. Thanks so much.
Great rest of your day. Bye.
You too. Take care. Bye.
I'd love to have you inside of Art Friends School, where we go deeper into these topics. Follow the link that's in the show notes or find it on my website at annamieka.com.